Welcome to the channel. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. In 1972, a flight attendant named Vesna Vulović was on a plane that exploded mid-air over Czechoslovakia. She fell 10,160 meters, 33,330 feet, and survived. She was the only survivor among the 28 people on board. Scientists believe she survived because she was pinned by a catering trolley in the tail section of the aircraft, which cushioned the impact on a snowy mountainside. She holds the Guinness World Record for the highest fall without a parachute. When a tugboat sank off the coast of Nigeria, the entire crew was presumed dead. However, 60 hours later, South African divers found a Han reaching out from the wreckage 30 meters 100 feet underwater. Harrison Okene had survived in a tiny 4-foot air pocket. He spent nearly 3 days in total darkness, in freezing water, listening to sea creatures scavenge the remains of his colleagues until his miraculous rescue. At age 17, Juliane was the sole survivor of a plane crash caused by a lightning strike over the Peruvian Amazon. After falling to miles while still strapped to her seat, she woke up with a broken collarbone and deep cuts. For 11 days, she waded through crocodile-infested rivers and dealt with maggot-infested wounds until she found a local camp. Her story is a legendary example of biological knowledge saving a life. While hiking alone in Utah, a 800-pound boulder shifted, pinning Ralston's right arm against a canyon wall. He was trapped for 5 days with almost no water. Realizing he would die there, he used a dull multi-tool to amputate his own arm, then rappelled down a 65-foot wall and hiked 8 miles to safety. His survival instincts are studied by psychologists worldwide. During an ultramarathon in Morocco, sandstorm caused Prosperi to lose his way. He wandered the Sahara Desert for 9 days, losing 33 pounds. To survive, he was forced to drink his own urine and eat batch found in an abandoned shrine. He was eventually found by a nomadic family 186 miles off course. In a freak laboratory accident, Russian scientist Anatoli Bugorski leaned into a particle accelerator while it was still active. A proton beam traveling near the speed of light passed through his head. He saw a flash brighter than 1,000 suns, but felt no pain. Despite receiving a fatal dose of radiation, Bugorski survived, completed his PhD, and is still alive today, though half of his face remains frozen in time. According to the laws of probability, the chances of being struck by lightning are 1 in 15,300. Roy Sullivan, a U.S. park ranger, was struck 7 different times and survived them all. He lost toenails, had his hair set on fire, and suffered chest burns, but he lived through every strike, earning a place in history as the most electrified man ever. During the infamous 1996 Everest disaster, Beck Weathers collapsed in a dead zone and was left for dead by 2 different rescue teams who believed he was beyond help. After spending a night in sub-zero temperatures with no shelter, he miraculously woke up from a hypothermic coma and walked back to camp by himself. He lost his nose and hands to frostbite, but survived against all medical logic. Tami and her fiancé were sailing from Tahiti to San Diego when they were hit by a Category 4 hurricane. Her fiancé was swept overboard, and Tami was knocked unconscious. She woke up to find the boat's mast broken and the engine dead. Using only a sextant and a watch, she navigated for 41 days across 1,500 miles of ocean until she reached Hawaii. Phineas Gage was a railroad construction foreman when an explosion sent a 3-foot-long iron rod through his skull, entering under his left cheek and exiting through the top of his head. He never lost consciousness, while his personality changed drastically. He lived for another 12 years, becoming the most famous case in the history of neuroscience. While descending a peak in the Peruvian Andes, Simpson broke his leg and was accidentally dropped into a deep crevasse by his climbing partner. Left with no food or water and a shattered limb, he crawled for 3 days across glaciers and rocks, reaching base camp just as his partner was preparing to leave. Violet Jessop was a nurse and ocean liner stewardess who survived 3 of the most famous maritime disasters in history. She was on the Olympic when it collided with a warship, she was on the Titanic when it hit the iceberg, and she was on the Britannic when it hit a mine and sank. She survived all 3, living into her 80s.